Good morning, Unity of Greenville. How is everyone this morning? How many of you are enjoying those cooler temperatures we got this week? Not too many hands went up on that one. Not too many hands. Hey, we're so glad that you're here this morning. So happy that you've taken of your time to be here to actually benefit yourself, get your spiritual food for the week. But we're appreciative that you chose us, and we'd like to welcome those that are with us via streaming. Know that you are here with us right now, present. We feel you. We hope you feel our energy coming through the airwaves to you as well. Hey, today's a very special day. We have lots of things going on this morning that are very special, but as we start off the morning, I'd just like to let you know that today is Transgender Day of Remembrance. For generations, the transgender population has suffered various forms of abuse, and even death for challenging the views, the notions, and the stereotypes around the quote-unquote male and female identity. So every year, November 20th is set aside as Transgender Day of Remembrance. And this day is meant to honor, commemorate, and memorialize those who face stigmatization and discrimination, often on a daily basis across the nation. And so it's also meant to advocate for transgender people's rights, as well as focus on the persistent struggles that they face in their everyday lives. And so this morning, as we go into our meditation, I want to invite you to remember our transgender community and hold them in your thoughts and prayers this morning. I have a couple of quick announcements to get us started, things that are important to get right off this morning. First of all, we're having a 50-50 raffle. Woohoo! Who could use a little extra cash for Christmas coming around the corner? Yeah, well, today we're going to start selling our 50-50 raffle tickets. They're $5 a piece, and of course, however many we sell will determine what the winning jackpot is. So see John Sisson, he just raised his hands in the tickets there immediately following the service, and you can get your tickets for an opportunity to win half of that cash prize pot. There's still time to sign up for Reverend James's class on keeping the peace. Tomorrow night will be the second of the 3 weeks that they're meeting on Zoom, and it's a class that's specifically designed to help you know how to talk with other people about difficult topics. You ever have that come up? Yeah, you ever have any of that come up? So next week, the third and final week of the class, you're actually going to be talking about how to talk to fundamentalists. Anyone ever have those challenging conversations? Yep. So all of the notes for the classes will be provided, but you can, if you want to join, we need to get your email address so that we can send you a link for the Zoom meetup. So be sure and sign up either through the website or on the clipboard back there in the lobby on the bulletin board. And finally, I just want to let you know that we have a children's Christmas show that's going to be coming up on December 11th, immediately following the service. That's being spearheaded by Chuck Alvarado back there in the back. So maybe make plans on staying for that, and Gary, yes. This Thursday, can you believe it, is Thanksgiving already. Where has this year gone? It has gone by really fast. But we currently have 2 homeless turkeys in the refrigerator back there, and they need to go home with someone and be baked this week and brought back on Thursday. So if you plan on being here for Thanksgiving dinner on Thursday and you would like to bake a turkey, please let us know, and you can take one of those home with you, and we would be so pleased to have you do that. Speaking of Thanksgiving, there is a clipboard being passed around. If you intend to be here, please sign up. Even if you don't know what you're bringing yet, at least get your name down on the clipboard so we know how many to have turkey for, how many to prepare for. So I think that's it.
Just bring something delicious.
Bring something delicious.
Ooh,
yeah.
Yes.
And of course, James finds everything delicious, so that's,
Well, there's some things,
That's fine. We're going to take a moment to get quiet and just bring all of our energy right here to this place. This morning's daily word is my favorite word. So who knows what it is? See, everybody in the building knows. And James went, what is it? I think he just had one of those little momentary blips because he does know it's my favorite word, grace. And the affirmation this morning, if you'd like to say it with me, is God blesses my life in every way. God blesses my life in every way. So take a breath. If I'm feeling overwhelmed or find myself in the midst of conflict, I don't need to struggle. Grace, the ceaseless activity of divine love, is mine to claim. This infinite resource of spirit carries me through even the most challenging circumstances it is expressing in my life right now. I need not earn grace. It is never withheld. Just as water flows when I turn on the tap, saying yes to grace is all I have to do for divine life, love, wisdom, and strength to flow freely to every part of my life. Centered in grace, I am at peace. My thinking is clear, and I possess ample understanding, compassion, and insight. Drawing from this divine gift, I bring harmony and joy to my relationships. I move forward with renewed confidence, energy, and efficiency. And 2 Corinthians 12:19 reminds us, he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for power is made perfect in weakness. Take a breath of that. Thank you, God, for grace. All right. We're going to have our children come up. Where are all of our little ones, big ones, middle ones, all of those? Come on up, come on up, come on up. If you're a child at heart and you'd like to come up. Oh, are you coming up to sit with the kids? Bless you. No, he's not. He's going the other way. Well, he just tricked me on that one. How are you guys this morning? Aren't you sweet? You guys doing good this morning? Good, good, good. Well, we're going to sing the song. Do you remember it? You know it. Here we go.
God is, and I am.
I am.
I create.
I create.
I pray.
I pray.
I act.
I act
On the truth that I know. God is.
God is.
I am.
I am.
I create.
I create.
I pray. And I act.
I act
On the truth that I know. There is only one God. There is only one love. All right, let's give him a hand.
Yeah, let's give him a hand. Let's send you off to your class this morning with a blessing. Where's Mr. Gary? There's Mr. Gary. You're going off with him this morning. Let's say together, we love you. We bless you. We behold the Christ in you. We appreciate you. And we bless your
Gary
teachers too. That's right. And I know that Reverend David sat with the kids, but you cannot go to Sunday school with them this morning because you have to bring us the message this morning. You do.
I have to. I have to. Oh, yeah. Who said that? Hey, I get to, yes. That's much better than have to, isn't it? So, how's everybody this morning? The last church I was at, I was moving around so much the cameraman was going crazy. I looked at the feedback and I was looking at, and I could see where I went off camera, and then I could see at one time he was up and down and looking all over. He couldn't find me. It's just great to be here. And this time of year, Thanksgiving, Christmas coming around the corner. Everybody ready? Oh, no. Everybody ready for family and friends? Not everybody. How many kind of... Excuse me? Yeah, if you're not ready for friends and family, take James's class, absolutely. So we're not going to get into family relationships right now and the healing, the forgiveness work that requires. But I do want to talk to you about coming back to source, coming back to our essence, coming back to our origin, coming back to that part of us that knows, that intuitive part, that divine self. How many think you'd be interested in that kind of a message? Oh my goodness. Let's see if I'm ready. I remember a time when I was, here I am. Believe it or not, cameraman, follow me. Believe it or not, I remember when I was 3 or 4 years old, my mom taught me 2 things. I'm going to share both of them with you this morning. But what I remember about that time was I was riding on a New York City public transit bus. In those days, they were always full. They were always crowded. And I had just figured out how to count to 10. So I'm there with my mom and my brother, and of course there were passengers all around, and 1, 2, and I got all the way to 10, and oh, I was so proud of myself. Oh, I finally got it. I got all the way up to 10, and my mom was pleased. The passengers were pleased. I felt so proud of myself, right? And then my brother said, well, what about counting to 20? 20? I don't know how to count to 20. But 2 things happened in that moment. The one good feeling that I had of accomplishing something, of achieving something, of learning something that I didn't learn before, of getting to that higher level of consciousness even at that age, that was the one thing. The other thing was the disappointment that I felt when my brother said, but there's more. There's always more. Isn't there always more? We travel through this life, and at every stage of it, oh man, I finally made first grade. Oh man, I finally made junior high. I finally graduated from high school. All of these different stages of life that we go through, and there's always more. Sometimes we think we've arrived. How many think every now and then, oh, I finally got there. Oh, I can finally relax. Oh, I can finally, take time off and not do anything for a while. And life is a momentum and a movement and something you just stay with and something that you continually learn from and something that you continually grow from. It's that growth process. So how many of us think that maybe some of the work that we need to do still, I'm not saying any of you, of course, but some of the work might involve going back to our childhood and having those memories. Going back to our childhood and having those good feelings. So I want you to come back with me now to our childhood and just as I talk, just kind of remember what it was like. I know for some of you it was more difficult than for others. Some of you still see some of the episodes as tragedies when they were really just designed to grow you and stretch you and let you know how you could get through to the other side. Because if we say there's one presence, right? One power active in the universe and in my life, God the good, then it's all got to be for our good. All of it. Even the tragedies, even when we lose siblings, even when we lose grandchildren, even with all the things that happen in our lives, we need to realize that it's just that process of growth and change, that process of redefining who we are, that process of making sense of the world, so that we can be a better person, so we can continue to stretch and grow. Does that make sense? So this is one passage that has always fascinated me, and even when I was in the Pentecostal Assemblies of God Church, it just always fascinated me. And it's found in Matthew 19, verse something or another here, 14. Well, let me start at 13. Then little children were brought to him that he might put his hands on them and pray. But the disciples rebuked them. But Jesus said, let the little children come to me, and do not forbid them, for of such is the kingdom of heaven. In another translation it says, and of these the kingdom of heaven belongs. So it's like, what do you think he was saying in that passage about his love for children? And he talks about children in several places. He talks about it in chapter 18 too, and let become like a little child to enter the kingdom of heaven. He's always talking about children, in some form or another, but with high regard. What do you think he's referring to? It's not like you have to go back and be a little child again, but to remember what it was like when we were innocent, to remember what it was like when we were open and trusting, to remember what it was like when we were sponges to learn and, we wanted to get to the next level and count to 20, okay, I'm going to get into that one. And it was like an energy that kept propelling us forward. How many of us would like to have that energy and excitement again in their lives? Woohoo, okay, John. Anybody else? Only $5 a ticket. For me, that's the main thing. To keep excited about what's next. I know that life is a journey, and I know that there's no destination where I'm going to be just stay there and not do anything and just relax on my laurels and everything. There'll be no more challenges and no more things to do and no more things to learn. I know for me that will never happen, and I hope to God that it never happens because I'm enjoying life so much. I'm enjoying the newness. When I retired in 2018, I thought, man, I've been all over the country. I've been to all these different churches. I've been a minister everywhere in the world, California and Evansville, Indiana, and all over the place. And I said, man, I've arrived. And then I went to a little town in Blairsville, Georgia, northern Georgia. Anybody know where Blairsville, Georgia is? Hey! And they asked me for some help. They didn't have a minister, and there were things going on. There was conflict going on, and they asked me for help. And I thought, well, maybe I can help these folks out a little bit. So I called a home church just to make sure that was okay. And they asked me a series of questions that I had to say no to. Do I know mediation? Do I know this? Do I know that? And no. Were you trained in this? Were you trained in that? No. Well, if you want to help that little church, you have to go back to school. And it's about a 2-year process. And it's going to cost you lots of money. Do you want to apply? Showed me where I was at, didn't it? But it opened my consciousness up to another whole world of self-assessment, another whole world of conflict management and how to talk to people who are in your face and who have a different energy from you. Isn't that right? So the process continues, and the process continues. And you were talking to me about losing your siblings earlier, and I've just about talked myself out of it, but I'll share it just a little bit with you again today. We lost 2 grandchildren within a year's time. Last Sunday was the 2-year anniversary of Anthony, who died at 29. And 9 months later, we lost Zachary. And it shook our faith, How do I reconcile this with what I believe? How do I reconcile this with what I teach? How is this good? How is this a blessing in my life? And I have to remember, they're precious souls. I don't need to find out what their lesson was. I don't need to analyze it. What was their purpose? What were they here to teach? None of that matters, see? Because I allowed myself to go from level 1 thinking. Who knows about level 1 thinking? I'm going to explain a little bit about it in a minute. To level 2 thinking, to finally level 3 thinking, just to get myself through that time. And level 1 thinking is everything is black and white. Everything is good or bad. Everything is right or wrong. Everything is win or lose. That's level 1 thinking. And that's the kind of thinking that says, if you're not with me, you're against me. That's not true. That's the kind of thinking where the military says, this is what you'll wear, this is how you'll eat, this is what you'll do, you will follow orders. No pushback, no question, just obey. That's level 1 thinking. It's all about the physical world. It's all about the ego. It's all about competition. It's all about control. That's level 1 thinking because we want to know the answers, right? Please, God, tell me, why did I lose 2 grandchildren? Give me a reason. Give me a purpose. I don't understand. I need the answers. And God say, no, you don't. No, you don't. You just need to know that they were precious children. They were beloved children. And instead of analyzing it, just feel it. Just allow yourself to grieve it. Just allow yourself to be. Allow yourself to be like a little child again and know that this is all part of life's journey. This is all part of life's adventure. This is all part of how it's designed and created to be. I remember watching a little boy on TV one time, and he was killed by his parents. They shook him to death, and he had a brain something or another, and he died, and he was only like 9 years old. And I'm saying to myself, why? How could that possibly be? And then it dawned on me, oh my gosh, this 9-year-old boy was on TV. We could see his beautiful eyes, we could see his beautiful life, and we could see how he was mistreated. What a message this 9-year-old boy was sending to the world. He was reaching more people than I could ever dream of about violence and about emotions and about anger. He was doing the world a great service, and who's to say that he didn't come here just for that reason, just for that purpose, just to touch other people's lives? We don't know all the time. Is it okay not to know? I think not knowing is a blessing. I think every time I say, well, I know, then I'm cutting off the possibilities of anything other than what I know. It's like when I got to 10, I was cutting off all the possibilities of anything else. There wasn't anything beyond 10. I got to 10. Then I realized there's so much more beyond that. And then even within 10, what about 1.5? What about 2.25? There's so much more. So much more. So for me, it's okay not to know. And I think it was Socrates. Maybe not, but I think it was Socrates. And he said, I am wise because I know that I know nothing. Is that a wise statement? He knew that no matter what he thought he knew, there was so much more. Every time we find an answer to a question in science or in medicine or anything, it opens up so many more questions. Well, why is that? And how did that happen? And what's the intelligence behind that? And all this kind of stuff. And it's like, we really don't know. And it's okay. Say it with me. I don't know. I do care, but I don't know. I do love and I do have compassion, but I don't know. And I don't need to know. All I need to do is be like a little child again and trust. Trust in divine order. Trust that when I fall down and scrape my knee, I'll learn something from it. Trust that the life process is for my good, and it's to help me grow and it's to help me to expand. And that the things that happen in life, as long as I'm alive and as long as I'm living and breathing, it's for me. The world has conspired for my good. There's a conspiracy out there for real, and it's the universe conspiring for my good and for your good, for all of our good, to live a blessed life. How many feel like you live a blessed life? Absolutely. So the second thing my mom taught me when I was about 4 years old, I think it was 4 because it was preschool, okay? I wasn't going to school yet. But she was teaching me how to spell anti-disestablishmentarianism because it was the longest word in the dictionary at the time. She was teaching me all these things, and she taught me this poem that I have remembered my whole life. I just want to share it with you real quick. I've shared it with a lot of people privately, but I don't think I've ever shared it publicly. And it goes like this. The world is a masquerade party. We all have our own masks to wear. The rich man pretends he is happy, and the pauper pretends he don't care. But underneath these false faces, the comedy doesn't go far. For at night, when we take off our masks, we see ourselves just as we are. Can you believe I remembered that my whole entire life? My whole entire life. And the part where it says, and I take off the mask and I see myself just as I am, I thought that I was looking at in the mirror and seeing someone that was broken, someone that was ashamed, someone that had to put on a mask to go out into public, someone that needed to be fixed. I remember thinking when, well, especially women, but when women used to say, "I love you, David," I'd say, "Not if you knew me. Not if you knew what I thought, not if you knew what I've done, not if you knew what I said. You don't really know me, so I couldn't accept their love because I couldn't find it here for myself." And I thought when I take off that mask in the mirror to see myself just as I am, that it was a broken self, a hurt self. Well, unity is a transformational process. How many think differently today than when you first came in the door? Right? You start to see things different. You start to see a different picture. You start to think on level 2 thinking instead of level 1 thinking. You start to realize that the questions are just as important as the answers. You start to realize that you can live within contradictions, that sometimes between the black and the white there is some gray. And for the first time you're able to admit, okay, this doesn't make sense. I must fall into that gray area. And then we find out that there's a whole rainbow of colors that we hadn't looked at before. But the idea of that mirror and taking off my masks has shifted because my thinking has shifted. Now that little poem says, I wear the masks outside just to protect my spirit, just to protect who I am so I can stay happy and blessed and feel good about myself, and I can share that energy. And that at night when I take off my mask and I see myself just as I am, I see God in the mirror. I see the Christ light in the mirror. I see divinity in that mirror shining back at me. And I realize I'm not broken at all. There's nothing to be ashamed at all. I am a beautiful, blessed child of God when I take off my mask at night and see myself just as I am. Does that make sense? This is life, and this is what life is all about. This is why we live life, to keep that spark of excitement, that expectation. Remember, it used to be, oh, what's going to happen today? But now it's, oh man, what's going to happen today? What journey, what event, what circumstance, what challenge? It doesn't matter. But what's going to happen today? I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. If my brother says I need to learn how to count to 20, I'll take that on as a challenge and I'll learn it. And I'll do it. And I might not understand the concept of it, but, how many understand the concept of 10 to the 10th power? And how would you ever apply it in your life? $1 billion for the lotto? Oh my gosh. Can you wrap your mind around that? Because we don't need to. One of the things I was blessed with, and I continue to feel blessed with, is that I don't go out and learn something and then see where I can apply it. I'm in the situation, I'm in the circumstance, and now I want to learn how to get through it. We call that flying by the seat of your pants. I don't want to learn something if I'm not going to apply it. I want to be able to know I'm going to apply it, and then I'll learn all about it. When I was building my house in Greenville, I had an idea what I was going to do. I assigned myself to be the general contractor, and I figured it out as I went. And I talked to people, and I learned, and I figured it out as I went. And we had a beautiful home out on 5 acres, 800 square feet of covered porch. I mean, it was just a beautiful home. And we sold it for a good little profit, and that was good too. But that's how it works, nothing is permanent. Have you heard that before? Everything is changing. And if I think I know you today, then that doesn't give you room to grow for tomorrow. So many times people come, well, don't you like cherries? Well, I used to, but not anymore. Don't remember me too well, isn't that right? Don't remember me too well, because you'll keep me stuck in the past. Let me change, let me unfold. Let me grow. Let me expand my consciousness. Let me come back to the essence of who I am. Let me come back to the soul that I so want to express to the world and to you and to others. And let me come back to that energy of love and acceptance, and most of all, trust. You know, when we're not trusting, what are we doing? We're fearful. When we're not trusting, we think, oh, they're going to do something different and I'm not going to like it. I better control this situation. I better intercede. I better make my presence known, you know, and it's not necessary. I don't know how many times I had no idea how situations were going to unfold, but as I allowed it to happen, it would happen. There's a young lady right over here. Her name is Joyce Severs. If you haven't met her, go ahead and meet her. She was on my board when I was in Cookville. She's a beautiful essence. And a lot of times I had no idea, as the minister of the church, I had no idea how I was going to handle this situation. I had no idea how I was going to handle certain personalities in the church. And I would go to Joyce. And I say, Joyce, what do you think? And not only would she help me, but she would actually intercede for me. We were talking to this one lady, and I knew I wasn't getting anywhere, but Joyce was. I backed off. Joyce, you handle it. And she did. And she did a wonderful job. And Susan and I want to grow up to be just like Joyce. That calm within the chaos, that calm when you don't know what to do next, that calm that, you know, worry and anxiety and all that tension, does it get you anywhere? Jesus says, what does it gain you even a day to worry? You know, the lilies of the field, they grow on their own. They don't worry. They're not anxious. You know, the flower, they are clothed. The birds get to eat. Everything gets taken care of. What are you fretting about? What are you nervous about? What do you think you need to control because it's coming out of fear? And a lot of times we can hear your fear loud and clear. And it's okay if that's where you're at. But we just don't want to leave you there. We accept you just the way you are, but we don't want to leave you there because there's always room to grow. There's always more. What? 30? What? 40? What? 100? 1,000? Oh my gosh. What's going on here? There's always more. Infinite possibilities. So what I want us to understand this morning, and if you can get an idea and a grasp of this, how many remember the Quest books? Remember the Quest books by the Jaffolas? It was like Metaphysics 101, you know, for the New Age. And in the first chapter, what did they explain to us? That idea of terra incognita, or the unexplored territory. Those unexplored parts of ourselves, those unexplored parts of the world. You remember that? That's what it's really about. We, if we choose, get to be explorers of that unknown territory. Why? Because we don't know. Because it hasn't been charted. Because we want to find out. Because we want to learn. Because we want to grow. Because we want to feel safe right where we are. Susan almost killed me one time. She didn't really almost kill me, but you can see this. You can see the steam coming. We were in Kentucky in this little farmhouse in a cornfield, and a tornado was coming, and I wanted to see it. She's grabbing me, pulling me down into the cellar where it's safe, and I wanted to see the tornado. This is going to be exciting. We do have to find our limits, don't we? Every now and then, it's a good idea to get wisdom from someone else, right? Every now and then, it's good to listen to someone that cares about you and loves you. And every now and then, it's okay to collaborate with one another. It's okay to get together and decide as a unit and as a group. It's okay to have support of each other and one another. Isn't that what this family is about? Isn't what this community is about? Isn't this what unity is about? Don't we want to be able to be there for each other? Don't we want to be able to support each other? You know, that's why we say, giving is receiving. St. Francis of Assisi says it's better to understand than to be understood. It's better to love than to be loved. And it is in giving that we receive, and it's in pardoning that we are forgiven. Isn't that how it's supposed to work? So we come together and we learn how to do those kind of things. We learn how to interact with each other. We learn how to support each other. We learn how to grieve with one another. And we learn how to support that grief. Because we've come full circle. And we've come back to our spirit. We've come back to our inner knowing. We've come back to our higher mystical self. You're all mystics. Some of you have experienced mystic receptivity. That's level 3 thinking, by the way. And some of you have experienced spiritual oneness. That's level 4 thinking. Spiritual oneness. There is no longer any good or bad. It's all good. There is no longer any right or wrong. It just is what it is. There's no longer win and lose. It's win or learn. And when you learn, you win anyway. So it's always win and win. It's a oneness where there's no dichotomy. There's no opposite. It's just a oneness, and you're just in that flow of that oneness. How many people want to be at level 4? So you're not going to like this part. Most of the time on level 1. Yeah, I know we'd like to think we're better than that, and I know, our ego is saying, no. But most of the time are at level 1 thinking. It's this or that, instead of both this and that, It's right or wrong instead of it being both right and wrong. We still want those answers. We still want it to make sense up here. We still want to make sense out here. And instead of looking out here to make sense, where do we need to look? Right here. How many times have you heard it's an inside job? It's got to come from right here. We have to set the intention here to experience what we want to experience out here. But if we're living out here and we're reacting to it out here, we can get lost real quick, real easy. We can get overwhelmed real quick, real easy. That's not how Jesus did it. Jesus went apart for some times. And he prayed, and he was alone, and he was up on the mountain, and he refurbished himself, and he regenerated himself. He recreated himself. And he says, I'm just paraphrasing here. He says, wonder how I could have done that different. I wonder what I could have learned when I went into Jerusalem and I got thrown out. I'm wondering, what he's probably doing some self-assessments and figuring out how he could do it different and better, right? I don't know, but I can imagine it, right? Isn't the imagination one of our 12 powers? Can we use it to serve us? All right, well, listen. It's a pleasure being here with you today. I really enjoy coming out. I really enjoy speaking with you all. I really enjoy your energy. I really enjoy your journeys that you're on. Remember, no destination. We're all on a journey. And how we can grow and support each other. How I can give a handshake. How I can look at somebody in the eye and say, how you doing? How I can support someone who's grieving, losing some siblings. That's what we're here for each other. We're here so we can express that love that is inside of us. Express it outwards. Remember, it is better to love than to be loved. But you can't help but get loved back when you love. Walk into a grocery store and smile and see how many smiles you get. They're paying attention to your energy. They're paying attention to who you are. They're paying attention to the joy they see on your face. Let's go out there and light up the world this holiday season. Let's go out there and become all that we can become and do all that we can do. Let's live that life of compassion. Let's live that life of blessing. Let's know that we are blessed and want to share that blessing with other people, no matter what the outer circumstances, no matter what the chaos, no matter what the politics, no matter what's going on in the news, no matter what's happening in our family. There's this inner sanctuary that we can go to at any time and choose to be there. Choose to change the level of our thinking from one level to the next. Let me find a higher level of thinking about this. Let me see how high I can get. Let me see if it'll all work out the level I can get. Maybe it doesn't need to be fixed at all. Maybe it's just my fear. Maybe I could just leave it alone. It'll take care of itself. We love you and we bless you, and I just want to have a quick prayer time with you this morning. So just taking this energy, taking this love, taking this life energy of movement and gratitude, thanksgiving, this idea of Christmas, letting the Christ be born inside of us, giving and receiving gifts. Giving because we love to give. And we give of our time. We give of our talents, our experiences. We give of our treasures. And we do it gladly. And we also hold in our prayer and in our consciousness at this higher level of thinking right now, our friends and our relatives, those who think that they're not as blessed as we are, those who are in the struggle, those who are still finding their way. We have some friends that we want to hold in our consciousness who are sick with this respiratory thing going around, and other people that we know that are having financial problems, relationship problems. We just hold them in the light and hold them in the highest consciousness that we can, that highest thought pattern. See if we can get all the way up to spiritual oneness and just see it all as good. See it all in divine order. See it all as the momentum and the movement of life, just as it's supposed to be. And we affirm one more time that there is only one presence and one power active in my life and in this universe, God the good. And we affirm one more time that we are blessed children of that power and that energy and that love. We are the manifestation of spirit in flesh. And we come here to practice these ideas, put them into action. We know that we are loved. We know that we are blessed. We know that we are deserving. We know that we are loved even when we feel like we can't accept it and we don't deserve it. We do. We feel our hearts open to the infinite possibilities that are available to us. And we say, thank you, God. Thank you, God.
Thank you, David. We'll turn down the lights. In the spirit of thanksgiving, let's take a moment to give thanks and offer our appreciation of all the blessings in our lives. Do you know how blessed that you are? Take a moment to realize and to appreciate, to allow it to sink in this morning who you really are. The beauty of your life, what people see when they look at you. Sometimes we don't know how beautiful and gorgeous we really are. So we affirm today that we have a growing spiritual community. At Unity, we always have more than we need. Double and triple, that's how we grow. We claim our prosperity. Our loving source abundantly provides the highest good in all of our lives. We claim divine love and all good grace, and we behold the Christ in every face. Time after time and day after day, we declare and decree our ever-expanding prosperity. Money for our mission, money for our vision comes to us easily, effortlessly, and continuously. We feel it in our heart and we see it in our minds. The manifestation arrives always on time. And we are grateful. We're grateful for divine ideas that come to us along the way. And in particular, we're grateful for the Unity Peace Quilt that has been created for the Christmas season. We're grateful for Susan Tower Camp for bringing the idea forth from the spiritual to the physical, representing peace on earth. We're grateful for the team of volunteers that put it together and for those that gave funds towards it. We thank you all. So today we dedicate this peace quilt as an offering to all people. And as each person looks upon it, may they consider what they can do to create a peaceful world that works for everyone. We envision this peace quilt as a gift to the world, that it may shine as a beacon of light, reminding us of our better angels and even better days. May God's blessing rest here now upon each and every one of us, and upon this beautiful Unity Peace Quilt. And I ask you to hold a moment in the silence now as Jeff plays. Take a breath together. And we are grateful and thankful. And so be it. And so it is. I invite you to reach and stretch now as you come out of your meditation. Just feeling alert and awake. Thank you, David. Fantastic this morning. One of the best ones ever. Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. That's beautiful this morning. Absolutely. So Lisa's going to come in just a moment and make an announcement. But I have a quick announcement I want to make while she's coming, and that is that on December 7th, I would love for you to join us on live stream or here in person for a very special global peace, world peace meditation right here with musical guests Jeff Holland and Chris King, along with some other surprises, right? We'll have some music. And we'll be using our peace quilt as a focal point to envision peace for all. So we invite you to send all of your prayer requests to us over the next couple of weeks. And then we're going to gather all those together, and we're going to hold that. And we're inviting other Unity churches to send us their prayer requests, and we're just going to hold it all in a total, complete 1 hour meditation with music and Jeff, whatever he is over here. What do you call yourself? I mean, a sonic artist. Okay, absolutely. And that will be at 6:30. It'll be Wednesday night, December 7th at 6:30. And you're all invited to be, if you can be here with us live, we'd appreciate it because it's good to have the energy, you know. But for those that can't, you'll be able to watch it on live stream. And we're asking all the Unity churches in our area to join with us on this. And we're really looking forward to a beautiful, beautiful time. And we're going to be revealing right after the service today the Unity Peace Quilt for you to look at. Right? Are you excited? It is absolutely gorgeous. It's beyond what I thought it was going to be. You know, it really is beautiful. And for this Christmas season. Now, here's the thing. There are going to be other quilts. There are going to be other designs that we're going to be coming up with. And so what I'd love for you to do is to go out there after the service, take a picture of yourself and the Unity quilt, and then put it on social media, okay? And let's make it a thing. Turn to the person next to you and say, let's make it a thing. All right, let's make it a thing, and let's get the word out. We want people to be able to come in here and see it. We've got the church, you know, the lights on the outside that we're really expecting people to come and to join with us, and we're looking forward to that. So that's right after the service. Okay? What do we got for us?
I've got a lot. That was exciting. Hello, everyone. My name is Lisa Munoz, and I'm so grateful to be your platform assistant during this Thanksgiving week. Thanksgiving is coming. We're excited. So we're going to enjoy the quilt right after the service, and then after we enjoy the quilt, the Women for Unity group is going to meet here. So ladies, if you haven't yet joined us, we invite you to. We would love to have you join us. And we're just going to flex our schedule so that we can fit all of this excitement in today. So, but know that we will be meeting here after the unveiling of the quilt. And then this Wednesday night at 6:30, there's a gratitude service.
Yes.
With Reverend James. So that'll be right here in the sanctuary at 6:30 p.m. It's like Thanksgiving Eve. And then Thursday, of course, Leah invited you to our meal at 4 o'clock here. We invite everyone to come. And if you'll just let us know that you're coming so that we can make sure that we're going to have enough food, let us know what you're going to be bringing. Leah sent the clipboard around. I think it's already made its way all around. But if you didn't get a chance to sign it, it'll be out in the lobby as well. That would be really helpful. And we hope to see you here Thursday at 4 o'clock. And of course, there's lots of other things happening as well. Please check the website. That's your go-to place to find out when things are, where they are, and what else is going on. I'd like to welcome anyone that's here for the first time. Do we have anyone here today for the first time? We'd love to welcome you. Hello. Thank you for being here. So glad you could join us today. Thank you. We're really grateful for you to be here. We hope that you received a connection card, and if you didn't, we have one for you out in the lobby as well. So thank you for being here. And we do have prayer chaplain available right after the service. I believe it's me today, so I don't have my stool on right now, but you will see me in the hall to the left here, to your right, actually. So if you are in need of prayer, please come, and I'd be happy to pray with you today. We don't want anyone to leave with a heavy heart, and we have so much joy to celebrate as well. So if you have a prayer of gratitude, we'd be happy to take that as well. And can we take a moment right now to thank all the volunteers who made today's service so wonderful. Thank you, volunteers. We appreciate you. And that's it from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lisa. We really appreciate it. And so, do we have people cooking turkeys for us? Okay. If you're interested in doing that, let us know right after the service. Jim, what you got? Okay. All right. See the quilt, then come back in and eat. Sounds good. All right. So don't forget, if you want to be part of the class, tomorrow night, just let us know. And then we would like to receive our offering now. How many believe in prosperity? All right. Very good. That's a good thing. So we want to invite you now to share from your prosperity and to give and to assist in helping us to meet our goals and our mission, our vision, And how many want to see the church just continue to be prosperous and to grow and have way more than what we ever thought that we could have, right? And do and be in the world, So let's hold that spirit of prosperity. Thank you so much for your giving. We really appreciate it. Your consistency is so important. Let us say together, divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all I receive, and all that I am. All right, what do you got for us, Jeff? All right. Thank you so much. Enjoy that? Yeah. A one-man band right here. And somebody asked one time, do you play all of that? And yes, he does. Yes. Yes. So thank you so much, Jeff. We really appreciate you being here. And appreciate all of you being here. Don't forget the 50-50 raffle. Sounds good, right? Hey, there's a way more chance of winning that than there is of winning the Powerball. Say amen, somebody, right? So, so get your tickets today. Thanks so much for being here. Let's all stand together. We really love and appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Let's say together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. For wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Yes. All right. So hashtag Unity Peace Quilt. Ready? Hashtag Unity Peace Quilt. Let's go outside and let's see what we will see. See what we've created.